Continuing now with our lead story, the current political situation. Joining us from Washington, Charles Krauthammer. Let's talk first about Hillary Clinton. Do you see danger for her campaign with the FBI getting involved with the email deal?
Absolutely. She sees it. Biden sees it. Everyone sees it. A lot of Democrats who know that they are lashed to the Clinton mast are terrified. And the reason is this. It is totally out of their hands. The Clintons are obsessed with control and with secrecy. That's the whole reason she started the email thing in the first place. After all, she wasn't covering anything up at the beginning. She hadn't done anything at the beginning. She wasn't even Secretary of State. But they wanted control. Now, here they are in a position where the server is no longer in their control. Remember how she said in March at the UN that the server was hers, it was going to remain hers, and she had already deleted stuff and that was it? Well, it's not it. And the question is, what will the FBI find? But the bigger question is, what will the FBI be allowed to do? I don't know that there's ever going to be a cover-up ordered from on high. But the question is, how interested is Barack Obama in seeing a full investigation by the FBI? How enthusiastic and how speedy will they be in looking into this? I suspect because of the scrutiny, they will not be able to do what they did in the IRS scandal, which is to bury it. This is going to be a lot harder to do.
Yep.
Also because of the congressional investigation and because the media is now on the trail as well.
All right. Now, I'm going to tell you how I think this is going to play out, and you tell me how, if I'm wrong, okay? This is how I think it's going to play out. I don't think Barack Obama likes the Clintons, even though he's playing golf up in Martha's Vineyard with Bill this week. I don't think he's got a lot of use for them. So I don't think he's going to put any political currency into telling Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, what not to do in this investigation, because that'll leak out. Number two, if the FBI finds out that that server that Mrs. Clinton used was professionally scrubbed, which I believe it was. I don't believe she went in with her little thumbs and deleted 30,000 anythings. If they find out that it was scrubbed, and they will find that out very quickly, that's obstruction of justice. Okay? That's what that is. And that's a felony. Now, you may be right. The FBI may try to dance and this and that, but then the Congress comes in with congressional hearings and subpoenas Comey. Okay? So that's how it's going to go down. Am I wrong?
I think you're right. I mean, occasionally you do stumble on the truth, and I have to acknowledge that. Look, I think you're right. There's never going to be Obama giving an order, go easy on Hillary, and I agree with you. He may not have an interest in seeing that. On the other hand, he doesn't have to do that. All he has to do is to make a statement, you know, that in some way goes easy on her, the way he's made statements about the IRS and other scandals, and it'll be understood. But nonetheless, I think there's too much going on here that the FBI is going to have a lot of trouble covering it up.
And I don't think they will.
I do think that Trey Gowdy is the key here.
He's
Remember,
the guy.
She has already said she turned over everything work-related, and it turned out that Gowdy received 15 emails separately from Blumenthal that she had not turned over, meaning she's been exposed as telling a major untruth from the very beginning, and I think that's going to be his role.
But she forgot, Charles.
She's the wild card.
She forgot.
She's the wild. Well, also.
Okay,
you know,
now let's go on the other side.
They'll try to get away with whatever they can.
Let's go to the other side. My thesis is Trump has been good for the campaign, that he's offered exposure to all the presidential candidates they would not have gotten. That he has reflected accurately the anger of millions and millions of Americans toward a government that's impotent and dishonest to them. Am I wrong on any of those counts?
You're a little bit off on the good for the campaign. It is absolutely true that of the 24 million who tuned in, maybe perhaps even half would not have tuned in. It still would have been, say, 12 million, which is a major number. And it is also true that because there were that many watching, some of them who did very well, including Rubio and Cruz, I think, and Carson, of course, were generally helped by the
Okay,
debate.
but let me stop you. Can I say, whenever I interrupt you, Charles, I get people, usually they're old ladies in their late 80s, yelling at me. Look, It wasn't just
relatives of mine.
Right. It's not just the 24 million watch, but every internet site in the world picked up every bit of it. Okay? So it became a phenomenon, which it remains today. All right? Now, we have Rove coming up behind you. He doesn't think Trump's good for the party. But you know what? As I said, Trump's not a Republican. He's a Trumpian. All right? He's trying to get to be president or amass power to do what he wants, not what Reince Priebus wants or the Republican hierarchy wants. And a lot of voters say, good for you. And I don't know how far he's going to go. But right now, in our republic, we need this kind of robust debate. Go.
No, look, the idea that we didn't have a robust debate until now, I think, is completely false.
But it wasn't getting exposed. It wasn't getting out there.
Well, is it very healthy for a party to be debating, as it is now, whether we should have mass deportations? Do you think that's going to help the party in the November election next year?
But it will quickly go away.
Because I don't know how quickly it goes away.
When the candidate
He's the central character right now.
Listen, when whoever wins the Republican nomination is not going to call for mass deportations unless it's Trump, all right? They're not going to do it. They're going to put out what they want or what they think is best for the country. I'm not worried about that.
Are they going to have the courage to come up and say that's a mistake?
Well,
that's something that we cannot do, should not do, and will not do?
I don't know. But that's what we're trying to find out. Who's got the guts, the courage, the smarts to turn the country around? Last word.
They don't. If nobody does stand up and say that, then you can be sure the Democrat will, and that's not going to help the Republicans recapture the White House. You're asking me a straight question about the effect on the fortunes of the party, and that is one specific example where Trump has shifted the debate in a way that's going to be extremely detrimental.